Hello everyone. In today's video, this is the first episode of a series on how to write Hello World in machine code. We might go a bit further than just Hello World, but that's what I have in mind for this series right now. So we need to go to ARMv7. Oh yeah, you need to go to the website cpulater.01xz.net. That's the compiler. I'll link it down in the description. Anyways, you need to double click ARMv7. You're going to see this option under the system column. Select ARMv7, the second one. And now hit go. It should take you to a screen that looks like this. If you don't see this panel, remember to select the second one if you don't see this devices panel. If you do, then everything's okay. So now you're going to be inside this assembly compiler. This is ARMv7 assembly, but right now we aren't doing assembly, so we can delete that. Okay, we're doing machine code, and in order to get to the machine code tab, you're going to see these tabs just below the editor. Click memory, or you can press Control M on your keyboard. Okay, so once you're in memory, we're going to start the tutorial now. But before we start, you should have a basic idea of assembly language programming. If you don't, definitely check out my series on it. Explore many different assemblers. I didn't cover ARMv7, but knowledge of it is recommended, not required. Anyways, the first thing I would want to do is move something into a register. Let's do R1. Let's try and move 1 into the register R1. So we're going to go over here to the address 000000000. We're going to go to this address, and we're going to write an instruction. Essentially, instructions in assembly will translate to hex code. So the move instruction is E3A. That is the move instruction. Once we write that down, we want to put in a 0. We'll explore why we're doing this in a later episode, maybe even in this episode. And now we want to put in the number of the register. So we're writing to R1, so we're going to put in 1 for R1. And now what we want to do, we want to put a 0. Again, we're going to explore why we're doing that later. Once we've put down our 0, we want to write down the 8-bit value, the byte that we're storing inside R1. So let's store, 1 inside R1. So in this case, 1 is less than the byte limit, so 1 is viable. So we put in 01, which is the hex code for 1. And this is what we call an opcode, an assembly instruction. An opcode has an address, in this case, that. Now, finally, we're just going to end our program with a bunch of zeros. Every time I compile my C or assembly into machine code, it always ends the machine code with a bunch of zeros. I don't know why. Maybe if you're looking in the maybe if you're watching this video, you can comment why. But I like to do what the compiler does, so I'm ending this with a bunch of zeros, and it doesn't seem to do anything bad. So that's what I'm going to do. So now, in order to run our program, we need to hit this continue button, or you can hit F3 on your keyboard. So let's hit that. As you can see, don't worry about these registers down here. As you can see, the value inside R1 is now 1. Right? We can now apply this knowledge. Let's store something like, I don't know, FE. I'm just throwing random hex numbers out of my mind. FE, that can also work. Let's restart the program and let's hit continue. As you can see, the R1 register is storing the hex code FE, that byte. But one thing you might realize is that the R1 register isn't 1 byte. It's actually a double word or a D word. And that is, how do we write more than 1 byte? Because this instruction only lets you write 1 byte. So how do we write more than 1 byte? That question might come to mind. So we need to actually modify this instruction. So we use the move word instruction to move a word into a register. So for moving a word into R0, the instruction, the hex code for move word is E30. Next, we're going to put in the first nibble of the word we want to write. So let's just write something like, I don't know, 1. And now, of course, we want to put in the register. Let's do this inside register 2. And now we write the remaining nibbles of our word. So 2, 3, 4. And that is how we would put in a word into a register. So let's test that out. Again, we restart, we continue, and as you can see, we put in 1, 2, 3, 4 into this register. Now you might be asking, well, how do we execute a program with multiple registers? How do we, for example, put something inside R1, then put something inside, I don't know, R7, then R3? That's also possible. So let's start by putting something inside R0. I'm not going to move a word, I'm going to move a byte. So E3A, we need to put in 0 and then a 0 for R0, of course. This one is the mandatory 0. This is the 0 for R0. And now we put in 3 more zeros. This 0 over here is mandatory. This 0 is R0. This 0 is mandatory. And these 2 zeros are the bytes that we're trying to load into R0. So let's try and store 1. Nice. Okay, now we can actually copy this. Now let's go here. We can paste it. And this time, instead of doing R0, let's do R1. And we're going to move 2. Now this happens first, and then this happens next. So you can probably see where this is going. Let's do something for our R2 now. So inside of R2, we will move 3. And of course, let's end our program with a bunch of zeros because the compilers always do that. I don't know why. And now let's restart our program and hit continue. R0 now has 1. R1 now has 2. R2 now has 3. So we can even do this if we want to move a word, right? So we could do E3 as 0. And I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 into R1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll work. So R1 will contain the word 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's try that. Let's restart our program. Let's hit continue. You can see R1 now contains 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, that's it for this video. Episode 2 will come out soon. But anyways, bye.